Hello everyone. Thank you all for joining me today, even though the weather is not so lovely. It's Friday night. You have a lot of plans to choose, right? You can sitting at your favorite bar, drinking your favorite cocktail, but you chose to be here with me. Believe me or not, it's gonna be fun. Why me and why writing? So let me introduce myself a little bit. Myself a little bit. So my full name is Nhu Luong. I'm 21. No worries. It's just a little bit technical issue. Now we good. So let me introduce myself a little bit. Why me and why writing? So my full name is Nhu Luong. I'm 21 years old. This December, I'm going to graduate from Hamburg University of Applied Sciences, majoring in international business. So what I'm currently doing, I just joined Globalism last September as a social media marketing intern. So basically what I do every day is to create the content, visually and verbally. And I really enjoy what I'm doing. And in my free time, I'm really interested in reading books, just like anyone else, cooking and watching movies and swimming. So now you must wonder, where is writing? Because for me, writing is another story. Let's me back to the last our day in secondary school when I had a really big on a friend. The rush was so big that made me decided to write a love drama about it. Yes, I did, the love drama. But you know what? At that moment, I realized that I got to do something with writing. It's not just writing, it's the way you can communicate, that you can express yourself more in a deeper and meaningful way. But you know what? Sometimes to be good at something, you need to show it out. You need to get it publicized. And that's what I actually did. So this is my first ever published article on the e-commerce Beijing. My first ever company that I work with. You know what? It's not a perfect version from the beginning. I have to edit it again and again, restructure it again and again, send it back and forth to my manager and supervisor to get it on here. So the thing I try to say here that writing, it takes a lot of work. Alright, so now I hope that you have something about who I am and also about my story of writing. But now it's your turn. Let's break the ice a little bit. Yeah, it's game time, people. So now I would love you to take out your phone. I know they are all waiting there in your pockets and show me on Kahoot. I hope that some of us already know the website. Yeah. So now you can join. You can just go to the Kahoot website, enter the pin, and you win. And don't forget one thing, that the rewards are already over there waiting for you. Wow. Is anyone in? Enjoy being anonymous, right? I saw no real names here. So we have roughly about 10 people. Still have more to go. Just go to kahoot.it and enter the pin UN. It doesn't make any space in it, so that's why. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I guess everyone in. If not, can you please raise your hand so I can help you with the information? Alright, let's go. So they are basic questions, like testing how you can relate to the writing. Are you ready? Yes. Those are really small. So the question is, what is the right word? We fast people. The rewards are already there. Nice start. Okay. The next one. Oh, congrats, Delaware. How do you describe someone who's really good at singing?
Signing.
Singing. Oh, sorry. Singing.
See the word?
Yeah. Singing.
Yeah.
Wow. Now this time is faster. Oh, the first line was second. Great offer is now on the top. Thanks, girl. The third one. You still have the chances. The synonym friendly. What's the different way to say friendly? Oh, I saw some struggle on your face right now. Yeah, nice try. Still on the top. Impressive. Third one. How to describe something so strong? As strong as a what? All of them are strong. Yeah, that's the right answer. We're getting close to the end. Let's come to the next question, the fifth one.
Whoa. Okay.
Uplift in the car. I saw some yes. Wow, so that's up. I think we already know what the winner is. Oh, yeah, that's right. Come on, you just give the answer. Is that true or false? Yeah, okay. So now the rewards will belong to the top 2 to 3 first third one. Yeah, you deserve it. So, who is dynamic member? And who is brave order? You have been so good from the beginning. And the third one, yeah, even though you're the third one, but you still deserve it. Who is super elephant? Have fun. Now I already know how each of you guys relates to writing. So let's get more seriously. Yeah, the fun part is over. So, why is knowing how to write so important? Why knowing how to write contextually, correctly, so important? The first thing I wanted to know, writing is powerful. Have you ever felt speechless? That you cannot say things out. The moment you stand in front of your brush, trying to say, I like you so much, but it's so hard. And then you decided on that evening that you're gonna write a love letter to him or her. Or have you ever read such a touching article that made you cry? Or have you ever received a very lovely birthday card that made you smile? Writing is powerful, and it's sometimes very hard to say things out, and writing matters. The The next thing is that writing can influence, can make the difference, and catch your attention. The point, the things here is that you choose the right words or not. Now I want you to remember how many times you tricked into that thing. 10% off, and then or download the free movie, or just get the lifetime access to someone. And then just one click away from you, you are triggered. So the thing is that it's always the matter of the word choice. The third thing is that why what writing is so important is that it goes into every single moment of your life. In anything you do. Now imagine you want to host a party, you want to host a wedding, you got to write an invitation, right? Or you want to apply for a job. What is the first connection with the employer? Is that a cover letter? Or, now I want you to remember, how was your last caption on Facebook? Like when you want to write something, you're gonna catch people's attention, gonna get the most likes, most shares, most comments as much as possible. So the thing is that writing involves into every moment of your life. The fourth thing is that if you choose the right word, it can raise connection and trigger interaction. That's why Facebook is always work. Now I want to remember the last time you read the first or the last promo on Facebook, and then 1,000 of people get into in comments. That's always the matter of the word. It can trigger you somehow. It can influence your behavior and your reactions. So now the main thing, how to write better, how to make all of that things work. The first tip sounds really simple, right? You just need to read more. But the thing here that I want you to understand that our brain is amazing. Every time you read something, our brain will automatically integrate what you read into what you really understand. So the next step I want you to do is that whenever you read something, just try to keep it short, in 3 sentences. For example, when you read a really long article, try to summarize into yourself only 3 sentences. So that's how you can improve your writing better and better. And the next thing that it's perfectly fine to copy someone's ideas through the reading. I don't mean to copy paste. We have 1,000 of ideas out there, and of course they can collapse, right? Other things here that when you read something, you plus with your own experience, plus with your own opinions and your core knowledge, what you already have, to create something new. And that's how we call paraphrasing. And some people ask me is the template really helpful? Does it really work? Of course, yes, it's work all the time. You can always base on the template. But the things here is that please be careful with that. Now I want you to remember the first essay you have ever written in your primary school. Describe your favorite pet. It all starts with my family has a dog. He has 4 legs. He's very cute. He's very soft. He has very softly yellow skin. And then the next day the teacher gives you another topic. Describe your grandfather. I know you're really sure that's how it's gonna go. So the things here with the template that you can always base on that. It gives you the style, the structure, the word choice, but something that you need to be flexible with it. Change it somehow, depends on the topic that you are given. So, the second tip, writing is not a random thing. If you want to make it work, try to think logically. Structure and structure again before you do everything. Now I want you to imagine your essay is like a live show. It's like a movie on the screen. You are not just write to yourself behind the audience. You make yourself position of director. So how you gonna start your essay? It's like how you can bombard in an action movie with some surprising scenes. And then when you catch the attention of your audience somehow from the beginning, so how can you keep them with you all the time? You're gonna give them the plots, the twist, the retwist, the hook. during the movie, right? So it's also the same thing with writing. So beside your main point, beside your main structure, you're gonna have some really lovely words to catch your audience attention, right? And in the end, it's just like how it ends in the movie. It got to have something still in your soul. So it's also with your writing. I'm talking about a conclusion. So next time, when you write something, I want you to imagine yourself as the director of the movie, not just writing. Okay, so the third tip, it sounds really Chinese. Read every single word out loud after you write something. This is a tip from my Canadian teacher at university. Why do we need to do that? It's all a thing of perspective. Because when you're doing that, you're not the writer anymore. You are the reader. Now you are the audience. Now you will figure it out like how stupid it sounds when describe your friend further. He has 4 legs and long black hair, right? You can easily realize it when you read everything out loud. So the fourth thing is that always be open to feedbacks. But here I mean especially the native. Because we are not English. We are not, and we will never be, right? So the next time you write something, maybe just a short paragraph, I want you to send it to your native friend. He's maybe English or American speaking, I don't know. Just like and be open to his or her feedbacks. I'm sure it's gonna really help. Because as the fact that we are not native, you don't have the capability of choosing the right word, the right combination of word, and also style. So that's why always be open to the feedbacks, especially from the native. So the question here is that, can you go write a novel now? Can you go write like a pro now? I'm saying like, unfortunately the answer is no. It takes time. It's a really long process and it all starts with you. So how to do that? Now I want you maybe to start by writing a short review of your lovely, like your favorite film or your favorite book, and then send to your native friend. In case you don't have anyone, send it to me. Thank you.
We knew a lot, so now we have plenty of time for questions and answers. So anybody who need advice on writing or any concerns about writing, please raise your voice. I actually have one.
Yeah, sure.
So it's usual in my daily life, I need to write a lot, and sometimes really long article, like 5 to 6 pages, and then I get very tired and boring during the way. So do you have any advice for me to make it more fun, to enjoy writing a lot?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like based on the fact that you have to write like 5 to 6 articles every day, like it's gonna
No.
right?
5 to 6 pages.
Ah,
Yeah.
pages.
Yeah.
That's still a lot.
Yeah.
So the thing here that like writing can get boring sometimes. Yeah, that's just the fact that you need to accept it somehow. But I think the next time before you go write something, I think you need to like structure it. Try to structure it like as much as possible. Try to make it detailed as much as possible, and I think it's gonna help. Yeah, it's gonna help you during the way.
So you mean make an outline? Or
Yeah, sure,
and then
but
break
make it really specific.
Oh,
Yeah, break it into different pieces, so you don't have to think anymore during your writing.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you. I will try. Anything else?
Can you give
Any
example?
other questions?
Can you give
Yeah.
example how you break big thing to small things, like as you just said?
Yeah, so it always start with the main topic, right? So for example, like I want to write about taxation, but like you got to, like you have to go deep inside it, then you get to break it down. So like what kind of tax you want to write, and then based on that, then you can, actually the tool you can use, which is really helpful nowadays, is Google Scholar. So you can, so you can go to that, just type, maybe for example like German taxation. They're gonna give you like 100 of academic academic articles, and based on that, I think you can break things down. Is that answering your question?
Thanks, I think so.
Any other questions? Yeah, please.
So you mentioned that you browse on Google Scholar on a lot of topics. So how are you going to filter all of the information so that they're relevant to your essay?
Actually, that's a really good question. So that's why I always say that we need to have the structure first. So for example, like I want to write about taxation, right? So the first point is like what kind of tax that Germany have, and then the description, like how it looks like, and then based on your structure, based on the keywords, that then you're gonna use for Google Scholar. You cannot just actually from the beginning you can search around the topic a little bit generally. But the more you read, it's back to the reading thing again, right? The more you read, then it's gonna help you, you're gonna have more knowledge. And then now you got to Google Scholar it again to go more detail. Yeah. You start from general. Yeah. Yeah, please.
Do you take writing as a job or do you take it as a passion? And if you take it as both, then how do you feel the difference between the two?
Yeah, actually I'm taking it as both.
Yeah.
So now I'm writing like my own blog and also like working at a social media marketing company. So like the main difference between writing as a passion and writing with a job is that with a job you have to follow some rules. So for example, because writing for marketing is totally different from writing personally, right? Because personally it's based pretty much on your own experience and your own emotions. But for the job, that you stand up for a company. So I think it's gonna be a little bit different in the work choice and the structure as well. Yeah. So I think it's good to be the wrap up here. Thank you everyone for joining me. I hope you